It's saying I am live, and I am live. I should shut some lights off here. There we go. Oh, wait a few minutes here to get some folks on who want to join. Okay, that's a little. Let's try to bring it up closer here. You see the huge mess of my workbench. We'll get the. Oh, we got one folk. One folk. How you doing, sir, ma'am? Can we get a little bit of that in there? Brandon, what's going on, brother? I don't have you. No, the locomotives are in the kitchen. They're up here, but I don't have them up here tonight because I was working on them. Let's see, a little bit of the Black Anitas. There. Right, chat. Hey, Ken, what's going on, brother? I was hoping to be off next Wednesday because we have rules class, but I think it's been moved to Tuesday and I have to work Wednesday. But I'll let you know if something changes. I need a drink. I've been drinking coffee the past couple of hours just to stay awake. And now I'm pretty wired, which is good. I think I finally woke up. Good, I'm glad, Brandon. And so Ken, Brandon McElroy, I've been actually painting and decaling and Arkansas Missouri Railroad number 30, which is a C4, RS30. I can't remember what the heck it is, but I've been painting and decaling that for him. The gentleman making the decals, he said they should be shipped out Monday. So hopefully we'll be finishing so I can actually have the numbers on top of the locomotive. And we got 5 folks. All right. Sweet. We got 5. Who else we got here? RS32. Thanks, Brandon. I work for the railroad. I don't even know what the heck I'm running half the time. I just run and go home. Where it comes down to it. All right. Oh, this tape was on better yesterday. I guess it's finally peeling off. Let's fix that. That should be good. All right. So, guys, welcome to the Weathering this Union Pacific Turbine. Turbine. These both turbines are actually really, really fun. And we have Sawyer. Sawyer is watching. This is his model. He's a good buddy of mine, and I want to thank him for again reprogramming and resetting a lot of my locomotives from Darius' collection. He is part of the Texas Northern Model Railroad Club, and by the way, if you guys haven't visited that club yet, you better go and visit because it is extraordinary. They do amazing work, and they have some beautiful models. And speaking of beautiful models, here's a scaled trains. Museum quality. As you can see, it looks wonderful here. All that tape on it. But I already pre-sealed everything. There you have the motor itself, then the actual jet engine, which is the second part. And then you have the tender, which is up on my shelf right now. So what we're going to be doing with this is now, with these blown turbines that they ran mostly in the desert, right? And so we're going to be using a lot of browns and black because these things got filtered going through the tunnels as well as going through some desert scenery. And so we're going to be using some Ames products here. There's a dirty yellow. That's a good one here. All right. We got Dark Earth, our favorite Dark Earth, which is the same as this Dark Earth from Monroe Models. Okay. If folks on here are from my clinic from the NMRA, you know that we've been using these for the clinic, and I use this for the weathering a boxcar, which, by the way, Jacob, if you're watching, I am going to mail out your model next week. Work has been busy, never had time to get to the post office. And also what we're going to do tonight is we're going to use these pan pastels, which are wonderful, to use. And so They come in all sorts of colors, and there's tons. And well, let me get to the camera here. Look how big this is, right? So there's a lot. There's a lot we could look at. And then let's see here. I got my water for talking because I'm Italian. I like to talk. All these different paintbrushes I've been soaking in water. They're nice and clean. Already cleaned them up. Got a little bit of rubbing alcohol in case we need it. We're going to be doing some more dry brushing. Everybody loves that dry brushing technique, so we're going to be using that tonight. And then let's see here. I got a knife, Q-tips. Everybody, they know about the Q-tips, right? So appreciate the like, buddy. Thank you. Let's see here. We also got Batman. So don't forget Batman. Batman's the Cape Crusader. Trying to think of what else we're going to be. Oh, we're going to be doing some little bit of fading on the trucks here. Now, what's beautiful about these new scale trains models that the trucks are already weathered. So I mean, not the trucks. The wheels are already weathered. So makes my job a whole lot easier when it comes to that. And so I'm not sure what the coupler. These couplers are nice. Sorry, let me know if you're going to change these out. I may not weather them, or maybe give some nice dusting on them. How about that? But like I said, everything's sealed with dull coat already. I already used the Tester's dull coat. And so, as we know, with these UP motors, there's going to be a lot of blacks, a lot of browns, and all that kind of good stuff, okay? I'm going to show some techniques that I haven't showed in my clinic, which I'm hoping that folks that were at my clinic can check it out tonight, because we're going to be using some of the techniques tonight from that clinic. Let's see. I got the dry brushing here. That'll be the first thing. And my phone is going crazy. Okay, so my client said a nice dusting will be good. I don't plan to change them, meaning the couplers. Okay, all right. So the man has spoken. He said, let's go ahead and start weathering this thing. Okay, all right, Mr. 6017. Yeah. All right, I know who you are. Give me a second. My brain's hurting right now. But you're a UP engineer, right? Or conductor? I can't remember. We talking Marcus, right? I think it's Marcus. I can't wait to get your motor so we can do that. Actually, I have some N scale. What do you call it? I have some N scale clients on the way. So for your N scalers, I'll be doing some weathering. So maybe we'll do a clinic on weathering N scale. Not much is different. Just very, very tiny. Hopefully my camera can zoom all the way into those little tiny locomotives and cars. Anyway, so let's get started here. We don't need that brush anymore. Forgot to clean that one. Don't need this stuff here. Don't need that one either. All right. So what we're going to do is I have some brushes here. We're going to do some fading on these trucks. And I'm going to move this over so hopefully you guys can see it. I'll raise this up. You can see the wheels. Ooh, look. See, these are too shiny, man. We don't want them that shiny. Let's see what we're going to use. I got so many choices here. I'm going to take the cheap brush because we're going to do some little bit of some fading and some little bit of wash today. So I already got the Anita's black and the Anita's what's that called? The earth brown, the dark brown, something. Earth brown. That's right. Okay. All right. So I have the paint here, and I got some water in here. If it's too wet, dab it on your little. What do you call it? Hand cloth here, and you're going to take some of that paint, and you can see that may be too thick, right? You can lighten if you want. So just to get a little bit of that water, and keep till you find your desired amount of paint. I don't go by ratios. Okay, people say 25% to 3%, 5% to 20%. I don't care. Okay, there's it's what you want, what will work for you. So if it's too much, then you can lighten it off by taking some of it off. Or if it's too light, add another coat. That's it. And a blow dryer will be good to go. You can use a brush. You can use a foam brush as well. But, we're going to use this because this is what's going to work here. So look at that. Okay. Don't forget, there's a lot of dirt on here. A lot of grime. And also oil, grease, right? And pretty much just like if you're going to do like your rocks, right? I'm just leopard spotting. If you remember the leopard spotting technique. Okay, and I'm going to go all along this. You get all the nooks and crevices. Oh my gosh, Sawyer, this thing is so darn delicate. It's not even funny. He showed me this. I want you weathering this. I'm like, you nuts? Okay. So, by the way, this thing runs beautifully. It's gorgeous. I may have to get one of these days. Okay, a little more paint there. I need a little more paint. That's a little too light for what I want to do with this. Okay, you don't have to put an even amount either, guys. There's, if you look at pictures, I wish I was able to show pictures. I don't have any books on this. I actually took some screenshots on the phone, but obviously you can't see them because I'm using my phone for recording purposes. All right. There we go. Oh, Dad's watching. Hey, Dad. Everybody say hi to Dad. Dad's the one that got me started in all this craziness called model railroading. All right. Move it up here. So you want to get on the nooks and crevices all along here. Remember, a lot of dirt kick up. A lot of that stuff going on. All right. Make sure all your powders are covered before you use the blow dryer. Okay, now, I don't know if it's hard to see. I could try to bring it up closer. So you can do that without giving people a epilepsy and seizure. Okay, so you can see here. Hey, Grandpa Rails. What's going on, man? Dad Marcus says hi. I'm going to be weathering. Actually, that Southern Pacific was RS-32. I think I weathered for you, Marcus. That's the one I weathered for Marcus. So you can see here, it's very subtle, but it's there. So you see how dark? It's much darker. You can see there without the light shining on it, right? So let's turn it over to see the difference. See, look how shiny that is. My hair dry. That's right. That's right, Ken. And you can see here is a little slightly darker, right? So that's what's good about this. Now you can leave it. You can seal this, and for you, if it's done, it's done. It's really up to you. But if let's say the what do you call it? The prototype needs a little extra, a little more, then add a little more. So guess what? I want to add a little more to it. You know, the nooks and crevices here again. All right, I'm going to go inside. Go inside, all that. And you can layer this, guys. You can add some powders and all that kind of stuff, right? All right, so, all right, let's do this again. Voila. Okay. And guys, on my Facebook page, along with Instagram, and of course on TikTok, I will have the videos and photos of this thing weathered so that you guys get a closer look. But you can see the wheels here. There you go. Right? Look at the difference. That's it, right? Oop, that's tape. Don't worry. That's just tape. Okay. Not done. There you go. Okay. So that's just with acrylic paint and a little bit of water. That's it. Okay. So let's do this side now. Add a little more paint to this. And this, actually, I think I have the right amount of paint that I want on this truck here. We're going to be adding more here as well. And again, you could layer this with powders, or you could leave it. Your choice. Or, if you want to look at what the prototype is based on the photo, right? Then do as what the prototype picture calls for, if that's what you so choose. We tend to make things difficult, and it's just because we're human. But it's not really that difficult. Don't make it difficult. From experience. And Ralph Franzetti's on here. Everybody say hi to Ralph. He's been my mentor since the beginning when I started the business and getting into weathering. He is a phenomenal. He's on a lot of interviews and podcasts. He has some great interviews on the Second Section podcast. And Ralph, you did just amazing work. All right, I'm gonna add some of that here. I'm gonna dab this on here because one of the prototype photos has this. I'm gonna see how this looks. If not, we could wipe it off, right? We talked about this. We can wipe off if we don't like it. Okay. I mean, it doesn't look like much. Doesn't look like much, but it may do the trick. We'll see. Yeah, it's okay. We may work with it. So now you see the truck's got it. I like here, but this is still too silver for me. You don't want to make it. I don't want to make it too black because the trucks are gorgeous, right? So it's. I want the trucks to shine a little bit, not shine, but at least bleed out that they're silver. But we're gonna add just a little more on this one here, and add another layer over here on this fuel tank. Make that a little darker. And again, you go strokes up and down, right? You get leopard spotted too, works because it's going to pull down like gravity. Let gravity do the work, just like the real thing. Now you may get some straggler little spots here and there, and you just take your brush, dry it up a little bit, and go and there we go. All right, so a little bit here. I'm gonna clean that up in a bit here, but you can see this one's slightly darker now, right? I like using a foam cradle. They do, yes, I agree. They do get caught. They can get caught. Sometimes I roll up a towel. A towel works too. But I really haven't had too much issue with when it comes to using this cradle. And I had this for years. I would say about 6 years I've had it. I started the business 2017, 6, 7, yes, about 5 or 6 years. And I would say maybe once in a blue moon I've had pieces fall out or I had to reattach parts. And it's worse when it's your clients because you're freaking out, right? Because you don't want to ruin it. So, I don't like that. So what we're going to do, get our Q-tip, a little bit of water. And we're going to clean it right off. It doesn't clean all the way. That's okay. It gives a little fade on it, and that's fine. Don't forget, this is dirty. Actually, I want to leave that over there. That looks cool. Or if it's too much, just take some off. Okay, that's one used. This is plastic, so works a little better. See, I want to leave just that on. So that looks okay to me. Okay, right. Okay. So there you go. All right. So now, vents. Vents are a big thing, right? These things blow smoke and just got filthy. Really, really filthy. You can go ahead and probably just go right to the powder, use the powder, and that's it. But I want to show another technique. And let's see here. I do have these I do have them somewhere. If not, we're going to cheat a little bit. And who says you have to use the whole, not the whole bundle, but at least one of these whole big foam brushes, right? This is what we can do. Trusty scissors. Okay. Just cut it. And you use this side here and dip it and ready your your little wash that you made. Okay, we're going to go downwards on this. Okay. And you could dab. You don't have to buy very expensive brushes. What do you call it? Those makeup sponges or stuff like that. You could buy these cheap things for like $1.99 and cut them to what you need to use. Or like Ralph showed me, these sea sponges are beautiful, especially doing your gouache rust techniques. Okay, so now you got some there, and let's say maybe I don't want some of that dirt. What do you call it? Let's knock this out a little bit here. See, it's very forgiving. Okay, so now let's look at the one side that hasn't been done yet, as far as the vents, right? Not done, and woo, it's already looking good. Looks too square, and we could fix that. You could take your brush, move it down, or take your Q-tip that's a little drier and pull some off. Go downward. Let's see that. It's still striking that I'm using like $1,000 model as a canvas here. Okay, as a practicing canvas, the how-to canvas. But this thing's awesome though. Okay, dab all that extra water off. Just clean it off, and see, you can do all sorts of stuff with this. So, see, make sure it's in focus here. Okay. Oh my gosh, I got the whole family watching. I got my sister, I got my mother, and dad. This is awesome. Okay. What's next? What's next? Okay, we're gonna do the other vents, obviously, right? All right, so let's go to the vents here. Let's do this vent. Or let's say you don't have these. You have Q-tips at the house. Just make sure your mother or your wife doesn't find out using all the Q-tips in the house. And you can use a Q-tip will work too. I'm gonna add a little more water, a little more black. I'm pretty much ran out over there. This is a little darker. A little water. I'm gonna mix some water in there. All right. And we want to pull it down here. See, it's more wet, but that's okay because you can use a dry Q-tip and pull it down. Pull this down. Okay. If you want to dry it, dry it. This thing completely flew off my lap. Okay. So that's like a lighter, right? That just looks a little lighter. And don't forget, it's okay. You don't want it too dark, but I want it darker. So we'll probably go back to our trusty little sponge that we makeshift, what the heck it is. Okay. Voila. Now, I gotta stop dropping this. I'm getting old. I can't bend down. Okay, yeah, there's some on the doors, whatever. That's why you get some water and clean it off. And if you got some, you don't want some up there, that's okay. You don't need some. Okay. You're gonna go through a lot of Q-tips. Thank goodness these things are still inexpensive. Okay. Well, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep some of this underneath the actually, you know what? Let me Excuse me a second. Okay, there we go. I forgot to put it on do not disturb. All right, now it shouldn't be a lot of beeping noises and cutting out and all that. All right, so we got that. Now let's before we get to more of the weathering on powders on the trucks, I want to do a little bit of fading on the body itself. And now what's good is you can use there are sorts of you can use for this. Let's experiment. Yes, we're going to on this model. We're going to see what I do have a light pan pastel. But see, look, oh my God, look at these beautiful colors you can get with this. Right? There's so many. And I've used it, obviously, you can tell. You can get these on the craft store. Okay. Actually, we're going to use that. We're going to use this one. Ooh, look at that. We got black. We're going to use that one. That's pretty. There's a nice brown. So look, this is like a lighter, kind of like a rusty brown. I wish they actually had names on them. I think they do. Maybe underneath. Yeah, this is burnt sienna. Maybe we should look underneath it next time. I was going crazy when I first got these. I'm trying to figure out what colors were what. Let's see. I thought I saw a putty tab. No, I thought I saw a yellow in here. If not, that's okay. We'll use this one because this one's just as good. And is this tape? No, it's not. Make sure I open these and not have it spill all over my shirt and all over the place. Okay, so good. An easy way to fade this would be you can use the all of this we call it this powder, right? And so what we're going to do is I'm going to use that very light fluffy we call them these brushes, right? Remember from the first clinic and from the NMRA clinics talking about these beautiful brushes. Even makeup brushes will work too. They're nice and light, and that's what you want. We're going to go ahead, not a lot, just a little bit. We're going to see how this color works here. You know, I think let's see if it's going to actually do anything. I may not do anything for me. Yeah, I think we could work with that. Okay. We're going to dull down the yellow instead of going right to black, right? We're not going to go right to the black itself. Okay, and I'll clean this all off. It's not a big deal. We're going to be layering this anyway, so I'm not worried about sealing this first. Normally, you can, if you wanted to, you can seal this before you start this next process, but I'm not worrying about it this time around. Okay, and you can see how the UP is getting already faded out, or at least getting dirty. Okay. And because top of the locomotive is filthy, it's going through desert, so we want to look like it's going through the desert. Let me clean this all off here. Looks like it went through a sandstorm now. All right. Ralph, I have a question if you're still there. Does AIM Products still make these weathering powders? Because I couldn't find it. And I don't know if they went out of business or what, but I like to find more or different colors than what I have, if possible. And I asked because I'm sure other folks are going to want to know too. And I appreciate it ahead of time. Okay. See now? See, that's just that. You know, that doesn't work. Let me blow dry it off here. Okay, we'll fix these wheels. Not a big deal. But you can see here, see how it's faded out. Yeah, makeup sponges. Okay. Yeah, all right. So, yes. So I've been corrected. Ralph did say you could get them like 24 for $1. Okay, so makeup sponges, they're still worth the buy. Absolutely. No, Ralph, these AIM products powders, are they still in business? Can you still get them? Because I got this from a client a while back. And I had something here. It's www.aimprodx.com. But when I typed it in, it showed it was an error, so I wasn't sure if I was typing it wrong. Also, Monroe Models did buy it. Okay, I appreciate it. No, I'm not really worrying about the powers going into the motor. Um, what do you call it? That's why I was doing it downward. And when I was blow drying it, I had it down on an angle here, so I was blowing it out. And what it is here, right through here, is that it is see-through. And yes, it is see-through on this one particular one. But that's why I was able to. I blew through it. It should be good to go. Um, I don't necessarily worry about it because I that's why I normally if I do it I work downwards when it comes to the powders, and before I spray I'm gonna blow this out a little more. That way we're good to go. But you can see here just on the difference. This is not done yet, right? And this one has been. This side has been faded out already, and that's just a color. That's just using that one powder. So AIM sold out to Monroe. Okay. So guys, if you're looking for AIM products, go to Monroe Models. They're the ones that make the same products, and these things are magnificent, by the way. Okay. So what we're gonna do is a little more. Okay. All right. And so let's see. I'm gonna do this side now. And what I want to do is I want to cover this one, and the way is because I want to keep this black and having that yellow on it. And what I'll do is actually, I'm not going to worry about that. Brushes here. Okay. We do the same thing on this side. Here's one thing about um, using powders too. You know, they can get everywhere here. But that's what I like about this yellow. It does fade out really well. I'm not really using that much. Not much on here. Okay. Okay, we'll do that here. Let's see, especially these brushes are great because they won't, as long as you're careful too, don't, what do you call it? They should, these brushes, they shouldn't break off the detail parts. And they're very, very, very soft. And I'm going very soft on the brush too. I'm not going that hard. That's one thing about like these paints here. Okay, do that, brush this off. Take this too. All right. So that's that. And what I'm going to do is I took the tape off when we started, the tape off on here. I'm going to cut a piece of tape. And I do have some extra blue tape laying around here. So I'm going to cover this before I seal it. So we're going to seal this first, and we're going to come back and start that. In the meantime, we have other parts of this locomotive that need to be weathered. And I need my knife here. Okay, let's do this here. I'm going to cut a piece just to cover it. I'm not going to worry about the bottom just yet. Okay, what we're going to do is, there we go, and that just to cover it before I spray it. And we're going to take care of all of this in here too. Actually, what I want to do with the trucks, honestly, is to make it a little more gray, so it looks like ballast kick-up. I don't know why, I just like the look of it. There's some pictures of it looking like that, and it looks cool. It gives it a little more of a dramatic effect than just black and yellow. Okay. Let's do that here. Yeah, this is boring part, guys. Okay. All right. Off to the spray booth it goes, and then we're going to start on what the turbine is. That's going to be fun. And guys, I am using Tesla Soap Coat. It adheres the powders really well. That's why I like using it. Now, like for paints and stuff, you can use the matte medium. Rust-Oleum will work for paints. Obviously, crystal clear gloss will work well when you're doing decal work. Okay, so that is something there. All right. Now this one. So now this is, I love this thing. My gosh, there's so many detailed parts, guys. We're going to keep this black, obviously. So I'm going to cover that part. What I'm going to do is cut a little piece. Forgot to prep that. I meant to cover it the other day, and I forgot. Let's use that here. Well, that didn't work. Forgot there are tiny pieces within this blue tape. I'm going to use it for other projects. There we go. There. Much better. Okay. That goes there. Okay, let's cut this little piece off. Okay. Or you make sure we're, okay. Just trying to fold this just enough so we can do the blow turbine here. Now, the thing was like it's a jet engine in here. This, I don't know how the heck they got away with this back in the day, but man, it's pretty rad that they did. Okay. Come on, attach. Attach. We'll get there. Try to put it inside. Just trying to cover the inside so we won't get it in there. Actually, I think that little piece will do. Instead of using a bigger piece, I'm going to use a tinier piece, and I can't grab it. There we go. Oh, look at that. Perfect size. All right. Are we ready for this? I think we are. All right. Hey, Steven. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, this thing spins. That's why I'm covering it. I don't want to. I don't want to. It's really cool though. Johnny and I were. Johnny came over. Johnny's on here too. Johnny's a great structure builder, a good scratch builder. He's going to be helping me building the rest of the city on the layout. So I already sent a photo of like the 20 structure building kits from Walthers, and he was like, "Holy smokes!" I'm like, "Yeah, we're going ham." All right, let's do this. Okay, so we're gonna do the same thing again on here. Okay, and now actually, let's do it a different way. Let's do a little bit of dry brushing, right? I want to show some dry brushing in case anybody hasn't been on the other clinic as well as NMRA clinic. We're gonna use no, not that brush. I want to use one of these brushes. Okay, I have like 1,000 brushes, right? And I think I probably used the same 10. I'm gonna dry this up. Okay, it's almost dry. There we go. Now we're cooking with gas. All right. Dry brushing. You got your black and brown paint from earlier, right? I use these old Post-its for my dry brushing. You can use a paper towel. You can use a paper plate. They're cheap to use. And I'm going to take a little bit on here. A little bit of that brown. And I want, this time, unlike the boxcar, we're going to go a lot more darker. But I want a little bit of that brown showing in there too. Okay, so that's kind of the color I'm going for. There's a little bit of brown hint in there, and that's too much paint. I want to get all that paint off, just enough. Okay. And this may go. And we're going to go just a little bit of spots here and there. We're not going to do the full thing. Okay. Jeez, sounds like thunder upstairs. All right. A little bit of light, a little bit of darker. Make sure all the pistons, springs, ladders, make sure it all gets some kind of coat. I'm sorry if this is too far away. I'm trying to do the best I can while working on it. And I'll show you up close what it looks like here. But, I'm just picking my spots where I want the dry brushing to go. Sparky, one of these days I am coming to that YouTube meet and greet. That'll be so much fun. Okay, a little more dark. And see, I'm going downwards. In the paint strokes, when you do it downwards, it's gravity. You're using gravity. Let the paint pull downwards, just like the real thing. A little bit of dark. And this is fairly dry. This is not really wet paint. And dry brushing, guys, if anybody is new to these live clinics, is that dry brushing takes the place of airbrushing in some ways. Not all the ways, but some ways. And sometimes using airbrushing and dry brushing at the same time could do a lot of work, could work to your benefit too. Needless to say, I've done both on the same model, and it came out stellar. Okay. Now again, not every single nook and cranny has to get touched with this. There's some spots here that are left to the show that you still have the silver, right? I want to show that silver coming through still. And again, you can seal it, and that's all you want to do. That's it, right? It looks good the way it is. Okay, so we're gonna go into dry brushing more onto the vents. And you're gonna get into this brush. Holy smokes, these doors open. Sorry, you didn't tell me these doors open. Guys, if you haven't gotten this model and you want to get one, get it. This thing is amazing. Johnny, we're gonna check this out. I know these doors opened. I knew the doors to the cab opened, but I didn't know about this. Holy smokes. Look at that. Look at that. That's pretty. Uh, and guys, I'm just concentrating. Don't mind me. Okay. Again, just dry brushing will do the work, right? You don't need to go crazy. To me, it looks a little sloppy, but we're gonna add, we call it some powders on here, and I'll show what we're gonna do. Because all the wiring is right there for this turbine. And oh boy, I didn't know that. Otherwise, I would have. Okay, move over, move over. Look at that. Oh my gosh. So, okay, guys, we're gonna see this detail first. This is stunning. Geez, computer chips all in there and everything. Good thing I realized that, did I? Don't want to. So look at that. Look how cool that is. Okay, like that's the stupid detail you get in this model. Oh boy. Okay. So, that being said, I lost the words. We are going to continue dry brushing this, and I'm not sure if I want to use powders or not over there. You don't, guys, you don't have to use powders for everything. Not everything has to be powdered. Okay. You could constantly use the dry brushing, and that does the same. Can use the same. It could be the same effect. You know. And look, I mean, like I'm just making swirlies, making little shapes. Okay. I'm gonna go really dark on these doors here because the turbine's right there. Um, might as well. All right. Hopefully, I could get in there and get. I'm gonna go in there and get that turbine weather too. Might as well. Might as well. I gotta do the whole thing now. Okay. And I'm sorry, this is like slightly boring, but this is what it entails when you're doing this kind of project. It's a lot. There's a lot of little parts and little things going on here. So what we're going to do is we're going to dry brush this, cover this, and then I'll go ahead and do more powders. Okay, so let's get this done here. And again, guys, you know, if you have to go, do what you guys got to do. This Friday night, be with the family. But if you want to stick throughout the whole thing, that's great. If not, this will be on YouTube, and you can fast forward to all the different parts that you want to see and how this thing is being weathered. So I won't be offended if you guys have to go. This is going to be a tedious little project. I may not do the tender tonight. The tender is just a tender. This is literally the most important part of the whole thing, besides the front and the cab, right? the front piece. And these doors, oh gosh, all those doors open. This thing is cool. Yay! All right. See, if I'd known these doors open, I would have done this ahead of time and saved some time on the camera. But look at that. Woo! Make sure the door is closed. Now I didn't go inside. I just went above the doors. Okay. Sawyer. Okay, now so there's a little spot here I don't like. Right now, let's. Okay. Now you can see in here. Try not to. There's some spots that I want to fix right there. So if you can't get in there, okay, a Q-tip will work, especially if it's really fluffy. But if you're afraid to get into between these grab irons or the ladder, um, good old scissors or some clips. Heck, even nail clippers will work too. Um, Usually I cut it in half if it breaks. I'll cut it my finger. Ah, there we go. And you got two sides to work on. And what I do is now you got a little pointer on both sides of the Q-tip, right? And then go in there and clean it up. Just clean up what you think you don't like. There's certain spots here I'm like, ugh, I don't like it at all. I don't like it at all. Because I can use powders over here instead. Okay, we do that. Now, does the other side have it? Yeah, it's the other side. Okay, well, I'm gonna do the one side then. I'm gonna do the other side off camera. Um, we're gonna no blue tape, love it. All right, now I'm gonna find a piece that's not completely mutilated by this knife. Let's do this. No, actually, yes, that's what I want. I want to get a big piece. All right. Should work. All right. We will come back to you later because so we'll do this one side. Okay. Now, let's do the rooftop, right? This is going to be the fun part. Everybody's excited about this. Okay, so the same thing you can use. We can use the, there's multiple techniques, obviously, you can use. You can use dry brushing or you can use a little bit of a wash. And I think I'm going to go for the wash. Or you go directly to powders, if you so choose. Let's go to Grimy Black Monrose. And before that, I want to see how this works, actually, because we have these pan pastels. Now, with pan pastels, okay, you can use that fluffy little brush, which is underneath the model, okay, right? Okay. And you can go right ahead and just go right on it. Okay, because I'm just doing that. It already comes off really, really well. So you don't have to use just makeup brushes. You can use, or makeup brushes, but makeup sponges. And guys, all I'm doing is just covering this thing with the grimy black. That's all I'm doing. Okay. Again, a very soft brush because we're dealing with a lot of high-end detail parts on here. Johnny, just letting you know, this one's fun. And I'm going to say hi, Johnny and Brianna and Stephanie. Hope you guys are doing well. And to Joe and Amber and to Buddha and Littles and Benji and Rop, the whole clan out there about 10 minutes away from me. Hope you guys are doing well. See what's cool about these brushes you get inside underneath. And all you got to do is just use this powder if you so choose. Okay. I'm going to show you another trick now. So these pan pastels are cool, along with the Monroes. They're great as well. And again, thank you to Ken and Ralph for mentioning that Ames Products has been bought by Monroe. I'm going to stay away. I'm going to stay away from here right now with that powder, away from the actual the blower itself. Okay, top here. Oh my gosh, this thing is nuts. Okay, guys, I mean, that's just the powder. All right, one coat of powder. So that's it. Yeah, this thing is a very, very high-end price, this model. But look at the super details. And just like looking at someone who puts so many details in a building, in a structure, this thing, I mean, I haven't seen everything yet. And what's cool about the job I do here is that I get to see all the details. You know, I mean, I'm discovering more and more of them. Okay, so let's go here. So now, let's say we got our black, right? You can do this with any kind of powder, really. I want this spot to be really, really dirty. So I'm going to add some of that powder on top, right? And then I'm going to, this one is already wet. Actually, I'm not going to use the brush. Let's do that. There we go. A little too much water on this, actually. I'm going to go and actually go into the pastel with my brush, right? Paintbrush. And we're going to make this a whole lot darker. A little bit more water. Okay, if it's too much water, take it off. Okay. Certain spots here I want it to be really, really black. And I mean black, 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 black. Okay, like right here. Instead of using the powders and making it so that, you know, it goes into the machine itself with the little gizmos, using a little bit of that water and going right into the black itself. And, ooh, boy, we're going to make this baby black. Okay, now it doesn't look like much at the moment, and I'm going to show you what you can do next. Just let me get under here a little bit. I want to get under all these. Get in the paint. There we go. Okay. See, now when it dries, you know, you can see here's just powder. Here's using that powder with the wet pan pastel, right? You can see it looks really black now. So well, that's the thing, Dave, is that I didn't go forward and use powders here. It became like a paint instead, so that way it still gives the same effect rather than using powders there. I didn't want to do that, obviously, because it's so close to that blade. Let's see here. I'm going to do the same thing on certain ends. Okay, we'll get more in there. And continue with the strokes of it going downward here. Into there. Because I'm pretty much painting now, but using the pan pastels, it gives a softer effect than straight paint would. Paint would give you more of a harder effect. Okay. And we'll get down there. All right. And you can see here's the effect. So. No, yeah, Ken. My techniques are very fast. And the turnaround time, if on a normal time for me, if it's like, let's say a freight car, it could be a few hours, maybe a couple of hours. Just depends what's needed on the model, or the size of the model. I mean, O scale it's going to be a few hours. N scale may take about an hour to do, just because of the size difference. We're going to go here. Okay. And do the same thing on the sides here. I want this thing black, dudes. I want this thing black. Okay. I'm going to go in there and all the nooks and crannies. And don't be afraid doing this, guys. Just dive in. That's all it is. Just dive in and do it. And yes, I've been doing this for a while, but, I had to start somewhere too. Even Johnny's like, I couldn't believe Sori's making you weather this. I'm like, yeah, I couldn't believe he wanted me to weather this too. But here we are. Okay. So in there, it's not filthy enough for me. Okay. Stop looking black. Now, does anybody know Kerry Douglas? He is a phenomenal weatherer, and he uses 99, maybe 95%. He does airbrushing, and I will like for him to do an airbrush clinic. He is phenomenal. He's on. You can find him on Facebook. He does impressive work with the airbrush. Maybe I'll talk him into doing one of these days. Maybe get him to join the NMRA. Ooh, we have another member. Carrie, you're listening. Brother, you are a phenomenal weatherer and painter yourself. And your work needs to be shared more than just doing your own. But some people are like that. They just like to do their own thing. But he shares his work, and he was featured on scale trains with the those dash 840Cs from those NS scale trains. Okay. So yeah, it's a little tedious task. There's a lot going on here. It's not like a boxcar go woo 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 and you're done. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna blow this a little bit. Get this done. So there you, I mean, there you have it. Now you can add more. If you want to add a darker, let's by all means, let's go. You know, if it's too light or it's not black enough, then we may have to go blacker. So, if that's the case, then I'm going to use my. No, that's gray. I don't want gray. Ew, not yet, anyway. My black powder is somewhere. And where the heck did Joey do with it? Behind the white paint. Here it is. Some grimy black. Some dust on here. Now this blends it all in. This actually, and it look Ames product is the same as Monroe, so we're just giving a nice little coat. Okay, what I'm going to do on this is go up, down like this. This way I won't go into that. And I have that blow thing covered. Okay. All right, are we ready to do this side? I think we are. So I got this covered. I'll come back to it. I think we're good here. Yeah. Let's do this. I think this side. All right. So that top's done. Now, obviously, you got all that soot. That soot on top. It's got to drop down. So, what we're going to do? Black. More black, more black, more black. And we're going to mix now. We're going to mix the yellow and the black together. So, we're going to do it. I want to go black first, guys. Let's go black first. Let's go above this. And we're going to streak down. And I'm going to use this one instead. And don't worry about it, okay? See, look. I mean, it doesn't really look like much. You know, looks pretty sloppy. That's okay. That's not the point. We're gonna work on it. Okay. Okay. I want to take some of that off. What we're gonna do is go back with that yellow. And line it up a little bit. Now, if it's too much, right? We don't like it. It's just powder, guys. That's all it is, just powder. Go a little bit of this. And what you're doing now, guys, you're creating yourself a wash. So that's one way on how to create a wash. If you so choose. So and you still don't like it, you want to dilute it even more, can. Take a little bit of some of that water. Take it, dip it on your what do you call this thing? Your hand cloth. Pull this down. And now we're learning how to do a little bit of fade and streaking. Let's cover these first, okay? We want. My nose is already stuffed from all the spray painting I've been doing before I did this. I'm doing this clinic. I've been painting buildings and spraying them down already. So I'm going ahead of what I told Johnny. I think I was going to do it. Yeah, here I am. Okay. See, now you just cleaned it off for the most part. It's still faded now. But let's say you want it dark, right? We want it dark. And you can see here. Here's the side that's not done yet, right? Look how, I mean, this is from my hands, and that will come off. I'm not worried about that. It's going to be weathered anyway, right? So you come over here, right? And it just has something already. It's already, there's something there. Okay, let's go further. You want to go further? Let's go further. Okay, so we have that black right here, right? You know, Ken, if you could do a true color clinic, that'd be great, because I hate true color, but I think I just don't know how to use it well. Okay, there we go. Look at that. And if it's too much, dab it off. Let it streak down. Again, if it's too much, heck, get a dry one, okay? Okay. Okay, and just keep layering it and working at it a little time. And if it's too much, take some off. And I'm dabbing it on this cloth here, just keep it dry. And you're giving yourself a streak effect, along with fading it at the same time. And that's the goal of doing it this way too. And if you don't like the way it's coming out, a little more water on it, and just keep working with it until you get the desired look you want. Okay, oops, I'll take that. Okay, it's not what we want. If it's too much, then by golly, take a little water, wipe it off, start again. Don't be afraid to work with it. That's what it's for. And we're our own self-critics. Okay, like this top here. I don't like how it's streaking like that. Clean it. Clean the top of that. And top off. There you go. It's fairly clean again, right? And it's a little bit faded out. Now it's a little faded out because we used some of that black on it. Okay, so there's so many ways you can do this, as you can see. I'm going to try and put this on again without ripping stuff off. Okay, there we go. So now let's go down the bottom here a little bit. We're going to it's right in here. Keeping it wet, and then cloth here, dry it a little bit. I'm going to just do a little bit of paint here. A little bit of some brown and black, a little more, mostly black. Okay. And I'm going to go down here. A little dry brushing. Again, there's too much paint on here. You could take a Q-tip, stretch it, and take it off. Or stretch it to where there's a minimal amount on here. And that's it. Okay. I want just that amount. That's all I want. Woo. Just a little bit. Okay. This door's kind of filthy. I don't know if I really want to keep it like that. Not the little water in here. Okay. Get a dry Q-tip. And wipe it off. Just enough. Okay. So here's what we got going on so far, as you can see. All right. There's some weathering going on. The top is done for the most part. There's a couple of spots here I may add a little more darkness to, a little more powder. But other than that, here's something that's not really done yet. This is just from my fingers, and that will come off with water. I'm not worried about that. Okay. But you can see here, as the start of this is getting there. So let's go back to the actual locomotive itself, where the cab is. I'll grab it. It should be dry now from the ceiling, from the sealant. Okay. Okay. And we're going to do the same thing on the top here that we did last time. Okay. What I want to do is that, as you can see, that pad is sealed really, really well, right? We're going to fix these trucks in a second here. Okay. Now you got some sprays and stuff here. What I'm going to do is add another coat of that yellow. Then we're going to go back because most of the dirt and grime is on that turbine. I mean, it's on here too, but not as dominant as the turbine. And I want to do the plow. I want to see how long we've been going on. How long we've been doing this for? Does it give me a time? An hour 17. All right. Yeah, we're gonna probably only go like 20, 30 more minutes the most on this. Okay. All right. So we do that here. Get some of that nose as well. Because you got some dirt and grime on here, a lot of fading here from being in the sun in the desert. Okay. Okay, I want to make sure there's not a lot on the trucks there. Okay, good. Okay, fuel tanks. Let's do fuel tanks first. Okay, so here, got a nice fuel tank. What I'm going to do is we're going to go into some more flat black paint. A little bit of dry just enough. Okay, on my little tab there. It's a little wetter than I want, but that's okay. We're gonna just go straight on the fuel tank here. This thing's fairly black. And what's great about the Anita's acrylics, especially these flat black paint, man, it dries flat and even and nice. It gives a nice coat. And Dan Gerrero 2011, if you follow him on YouTube, he's the one that introduced me to these because he uses it, and you can't beat it, man. It's a great product. And this bottle is $2.99. Like these bottles are $2.99. These lasted me almost 4 years. So yeah, you get a lot of use out of them. Okay, we're going to go a little more black on here. Okay. Okay, as you can see. And I want to get really, really black in here. So this brush is thin enough to where it's still fluffy, able to use. And get all these little details underneath. And see, what happened was we let this yellow powders fall drop down like gravity. Now it's on the trucks, and I sealed it on the trucks because it does roll in the desert. Okay, and it's okay if it's a little bit on there because we're going to cover some of it with some white and actually some grays to look up to make it look like there's some ballast kick up. Okay, so I'm going in here with just flat black paint, guys. That's all I'm using. And see, now you see a difference. Here's without it, and that's with it. All right, it's just black. It's just flat. It's just a black paint. That's all I'm using. And if it's too much, you know, wet the brush a little bit. You can actually pull some off. And what I'll do, pulling some of that off, where use a Q-tip, dip in a little bit of water, and you can take some of that paint off. Okay, so and take some of that, take some of the paint off, and also you can use that for a chipping technique. If it's paint chipping, there's another way. Okay, that's one way we can do that. Okay, I'm going to take some of that. What I'm going to do is now let's say there's a fuel spillage. All right, there's some fuel that spilled over, and what I like to use, you can use this little apple barrel gloss black paint for like $1.50 in Walmart. Then I take some of that, and then I'm going to get a thinner brush. I have it in here. These are like some of the fine brushes that I have. I have a lot more. Actually, they're right here. Here they are. Or use an angle brush. An angle brush will work really well too. Even a small angle brush. Just something. Okay? Something you can use here. It's very, very small. It's an angle brush, right? A little bit of that paint. In certain spots here, just add some of that gloss black paint. In some of those nooks and crannies. So it looks like there's grease and oil being spilled through. And it also looks good on the trucks. Now, you can use it now, right? This is the thing too, if you use dull coat, obviously it's going to dull down the gloss paint, right? It's just common sense. So what you do is after you seal everything, you go back and you add that gloss black paint. And you could dab it on here. There's maybe some spots here, there's some fuel that's being spilled or some grease that's still spilled. And all that. Okay, but we'll go back to that. That'll be like one of the very, very last steps. But I just wanted to show that before people need to leave. That's one way you can do this. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to dry this up. And it does leave a nice little sheen to it, okay? Sheen would help. So you can see there, okay? little sheen. Grays or white. Okay, leaves a little white because we got some black on there already. I want to do these trucks. Maybe do a little ballast kick up. Just a little bit, guys. Not a lot. Just like this tiny bit, right? So now let's make it a little more gray. And don't forget, this thing is a turbine, so it may have some white in there. A little bit. And actually, some of those models did, believe it or not. Not models, excuse me, the actual prototype. Okay. You know, if it's too much, right, go back with some black. Just layer the black over a little bit, that's all. Okay, now we're going to take some black, go along the sides here. We're going to do some of the bottom. Okay, a little bit of there. On this side, we do the same thing. So now, like, this is not even done yet, right? We barely have any of those wheels done. A little more black, a little more white. Just a little bit there. A little bit there. I'm going to go back with that little bit of black. And products here. Come on. Oh, that's dark earth. Wrong one. Where is it? It is right in front of me. Okay. See, that may get too dark. And if you don't want that, add some white to it. Take it right out. Just enough. What you do is okay. Okay, so there you go. So like there's a difference right there on these wheels and these trucks. Okay. Let's see. We're gonna want to get in here for a second. Give me a second. Just cleaning out some of the trucks off in the air so it falls to the onto my shirt rather than onto the model again, because I always clean a shirt. Okay, there we go. Okay, so, and again, if it's too much or you want it blacker, darker, white, lighter, whatever, you know, there's ways to clean it. And what I'm going to do too is what I want to do is take a little bit of earth brown and add a little more. Just blend a little more with some earth brown. Sorry, dark brown, dark earth. Ooh, well, I got the name wrong twice. Okay. Go back on this one. And again, before final seal, clean the wheels. Definitely clean the wheels. There we go. Let me take some of the earth brown. Earth brown's good because you know you could really blacken this up if you really wanted to, right? You use the same techniques. I'm not actually going to blacken it too much. There's some spots here I'm going to change up and clean off because there's some stuff I don't like on it and there's some stuff I do like on it. And that's okay. Okay. And I'll clean some of that off a little bit here. Okay, so that's the fuel truck. Those are the, not the fuel, I mean the fuel in the trucks, right? A little bit of spillage and stuff like that. We're already show you how you can do a rooftop. Let's do the front plow itself and pilot. And we're going to do here, we're going to put that a little black too, but that'll be one of the last steps. So what I like to do here is I like dry brushing. I like dry brushing on the pilots in the front. So what we'll do is get a small brush again and clean it. There we go. And guys, this is not something that has to be done tonight. You know, I mean, you know, or one shot. You can go back to it because a lot of times I'll put a model away for a day and I'll come back to it and go, okay, it looks pretty good, or like, ugh, there's some things I really want to change on it. You know, and that's when, you know, you go back and rework certain things. That's what the beauty of these products that I'm using, these materials, is that you could clean them and start over. You know, they're not oil paints where you have to use a lot of different chemicals. All I'm using is water, and if you have to go to it, you can also use rubbing alcohol, and it cleans it. So, you know, it's very, very forgiving. All right, so we're going to go, and we are going to go back to our dry brushing. Use our black and brown. This time more brown than black instead of all that black. Yikes, a little too much black. Okay, let's clean it. Uh-huh. So you want like this kind of color? It's really, really nice, right? And so we're going to go. And we're going to dry brush and go ahead and paint this thing, because this thing's really dirty. Especially the photos I picked up. And what I'm going to do too after I get off here is actually look at the photos so I have them. I thought about putting my computer up in my above my desk, but it's really hard to see based on the photos what I'm doing, what I'm using. Okay, there we go. Okay, it's a little, we'll clean, we'll not seal it, but we'll dry this. See, the beauty of this paint is, like I said, it dries very, very flat. And we're going to go back and add a little more to that. And again, if you're not getting it with the paint, right? Let's say right here, it's not really working for me. That's okay. We're going to go and use a pan pastel, and the pan pastel this time is I think it's a burnt sienna. We're going to use this color, okay? And so what I like to do, a little bit of that. It's too much, take it off. Too much water, rather, take it off. I'm going to leopard spot this. Sometimes if I have a little extra paint, I add it to different parts while I'm working with the initial place that I'm working on. I'm sorry, I have it right in front of you guys. Okay, Okay, so let's try that. Okay, you can see here, it's still a work in progress, but you can see here. Okay, it's starting to come along. Okay, we're gonna darken that. Stay there. I got too much stuff in the way here. There we go. All right, now let's go back, and what I'm going to use a little bit of Monroe. Not Monroe. Yeah, you know, I want to use Monroe's Dark Earth actually, and we're gonna dirty this up, and we're gonna layer it again like everything else we do. Yeah, that's actually the color I'm looking for. That's a nice color. That's pretty. Okay, you see how nice that looks, right? And then we'll go from there. Get a little bit of that black, just a little bit. Not too, just two, not a lot, just enough. So it's not one even brown color. Okay. So what we're going to do is next I'm going to seal this bottom. And then we're going to add a little more rust because the air hoses get wet in the rain. And it creates a little bit of rust down there. So we'll do a little bit of rust effect. In the meantime, I'm going to there we go. So there's just a little bit of the dull coat on it just to seal it, you know, and to you can blow dry it. Okay. Go up here. Yeah, see, that's the actual effect I was going for. That's a nice one. Okay. There we go. All right, so we're going to go back with our brush. We're going to go a little bit of, what I'm going to do here in the bottom is I'm going to have a little bit of that rust. Now, what I'm going to use here, just a simple one color. And I'm going to use powder. I'm not going to use gouache yet. And this dark rust, guys, from Ames, even Monroe is really, really good. I have it both, Ames and Monroe. And what we're going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of the brown paint right in the powder. Just enough to get what I need. Okay, it's going to be right here. You can see some powders here. I might add a little black to that too. A little more brown paint. Okay. A little more of the dark rust. Okay. Oh, why is it coming? There we go. I'm wondering why it's so. And we're going to add just on the bottom here, okay? Just a little bit of that. I need a little more paint. It's not really. There we go. I'm actually mixing a couple of colors together. Let's see here. Let me try the light rust for a second. I want to see what the difference is. I mean, one's darker, obviously, but I'm not getting the effect I thought I was getting. It could be maybe I'm using the wrong rust. And that happens. Yeah, that's it. Used the wrong color rust. Okay, so scratch that. Light rust with some brown paint will work better for what I'm going for. Okay, and what I'm going to do too now is clean this off. And I'm going to go into the dark earth, which is, or this burnt sienna. This burnt sienna is nice too, right? And we're going to go some brown paint into some of that as well. Oops. It made a little bit of that rust, but I don't know. Well, I'm just experimenting now, guys. I'm just getting to show you what I could get here. And see, this is too light for me. Because don't forget, the rails are down here. And it's kicking up water. And so it's going to get, the plow is going to get wet along with the hoses of wet. They're swinging side to side. And so we want to create the effect that there's a little bit of rust on that plow. I mean, this is kind of the details you can look to, especially when you concentrate your eyes on a model or even concentrate your eyes on a prototype and see what's actually being done to that prototype, that locomotive or car, you know, and then you go forward. You know. All right, Ralph. See you later, guys. Let's see. Brandon, take care. Ralph, thank you. Appreciate it. I know. Using craft paint on a locomotive. I'm going to move this up a little more. I'm going to soften this a little bit. Okay, we're going to seal that now because it is flat. It'll seal flat. Oh, dry flat, rather. Okay. So now what we're going to do, you can see here, there's some effects going on here. It's a little lighter now. And I'm going to go back and I'm going to use, clean that off. I'm going to use some of this burnt sienna on the sides, darken some of this on the edges. And then I'm going to actually use some of this dark earth. And then use a little bit of the grimy black. And that's it. I'm not going to touch it anymore. There's your plow. So you get the effects that you got some rust on the bottom and some dirt and grime on the rest of the plow. And I'm going to keep this the front the way it is. I'm not going to touch it anymore until I feel like I have to or I feel like it needs something. I'm going to go ahead, give this top of the nose a little bit of that dirt. I'm going to go ahead, just get some of that dirt on top and some of that soot from the locomotive on top here. Streak this down just a little bit on the sides, nothing crazy. Same here, there's a little bit of streaks on the sides, nothing crazy. Gonna add a little more of that burnt sienna on the sides here. And a little bit of, what is that, the black right here. I'm going to change that. I'm going to probably clean that off, make dull it just a little longer. And then I think this is pretty much done for me, except for the rooftop. Um, Rooftop is pretty much set for what I was looking for. A little bit more of this though. I want more of that. A little more fading action on there. A little more black at the bottom. I'm holding this up because I want it falling on top of the trucks again. So pretty much want an angle here. Upward on there. Going here. There. And the reason why I'm starting down here going upward, guys, is because all that stuff pulls down at the bottom, right? Right? When it comes from the roof, it goes downwards. So you start with the heaviest on the bottom, you work your way upwards. So up. Like that. Okay? And that's all I'm gonna do on this particular part of the motor. So guys, that's gonna be it for this clinic, this live video. Are there any questions in the meantime? I know I have 7 people here. Hey Johnny, Johnny's still here. That's cool. And yeah, to answer Ralph's question, what I used to seal the engine. What I originally used was Texas Dull Coat. That was the original. That was the original thing. And then with the layers, I've been using the Testor's Dull Coat because it does seal the powders much better. Much more better. That's bad English. A lot better than a just a let's say a medium matte medium for sure. Let's see what else here. Still here. Okay. If you want, I could continue a little longer, guys. If you want me to, may go to 2 hours instead of 147. We can. Let's see what we can do here. All these hoses. Oh my gosh. We could go back here, and look at this. Is going to be all black too. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely can. I'll definitely have those photos. I'll post and I'll send them to you personally as well. What we can do is, in the meantime, we can get at least this back done, and then the rooftop, and at least this locomotive part of the locomotive is done, and then we'll call it a night. How about that? Let's go on there. Put that in there. Okay. We're going to use a little bit of black, brown, a little more brown. Okay, we're going to get in here now. Again, the concept is still the same, but the front as well as the back pilots and everything. I think the reason why I was killing Ralph when using craft paints, he knows better. Well, he been doing this for decades, and there are so many ways to really paint. And he uses a lot of oils. That's what he does, a lot of oil paints. And eventually I'm going to get there with oils. I just need more practice with it before I decide just to go with oils. And oils are great because oils you can work with for a longer period of time compared to acrylics. That's the beauty of using oils is they last and I was told they also last a little longer. Again, if you seal the models properly, and after over time you can reseal them. The paint will last on them. The powder still lasts for a while. So we're gonna go in here and some black up here. I'm gonna get up in here now and some black. Okay, let me see that. Okay. Now, use some of that powders. I'm going to go in here a little long. Stretch that out just a little bit. Stretch that out. Okay, and what I'm going to do is pull some of this off with a Q-tip. And I'm just working out. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to go, let this dry for a second. I'm going to go to powder. Okay. Here it is. Get some dark earth. Some of the soot falling down. What I'm going to do is actually paint this a little bit here. Again, there's a lot of details to this model, guys. There's just so much. I'm going to dry this up a little bit. Okay, I'm going to get a little black in there. Pull some of that black off, still too much. Okay, get back in a Q-tip here. I just want to take some of that black off. Just enough on there. Pull it down. Where is it? There we go. No, that's not going to work. I need, here it is. Some spillage, and again, you don't have to make it completely dark black, just enough to show that something's there and that there's some soot on it. Okay. Looks like one of those little hoses fell off. It's right there. I'll grab it. I'll glue it back. See, these things are so delicate. Even with this light brush, I'm going very, very light. It's just that delicate. Okay. So that's that. So let's do the top now. Okay. Oh, I need. There we go. Put this away. And we're gonna go along here with our Ames / Monroe models soot black. Now over here, I'm probably going to have to use a little bit of paint on here. So I could get into those little nooks on the running boards and grills. Okay. Okay, so up here now, what I want to do right here is add a little bit of that too much paint, not paint, water rather. Grab some of that off. Okay. This is going to be pretty black right here. I'm just going to clean it up here a little bit. See, I'm doing is pulling it downward. And I'm going to do, take some of that off. Don't forget the vents are right here too. A little bit of paint. Oh, that's not what I want to use. Use a clean one. There we go. There we go. All right. Okay, a little bit of that. All right, now I want to, let's see what we got going on here. I appreciate you, Stephen. Thank you. Oh, what am I needing? What am I needing, guys? Brain went blank. Ah, that's what I need. Found it. Need my flat brush here. Clean some of that paint off. And I'm going to go ahead and use that a little bit of that pan pastel again and some black. And we're really going to get in here and really blacken this up. I'm going to dry that a little more and then a little more of that. Thank you, Stephen. I appreciate it. Again, just really concentrating now on what I really wanted to get done here. There's so many little parts and nooks and nook and crannies and stuff that just too much water. There's a little too much water on there. Okay, I've come back on here. And actually, I want to pull some of this off. I want some of that yellow showing. I'm going to pull a little bit of that off. Not a lot, just some of it. Yeah, I'm liking the way that looks. All right. Okay, just a little bit here and there. Gosh, my hands are filthy. I gotta fix some spots here. I really got a fingerprint on there. Oh my gosh, I hate that. There's the front. And there's that. I'm gonna do a little more work on this fuel tank. I'm gonna clean this up right over here. But that's pretty much all I'm gonna do with that. Um, so if we get the other piece with it, get up here. Which still needs to be done. So you're going, you know, so that's what it's going to look like. And the top is, I really like the way this came out. This top of this rooftop here. Um, and same thing with the coal tender. They're not coal tender, that fuel tender. There's a lot of stuff you could do with that as well. Um, yeah. There we go. Just looking for something here. Give me a second. Uh-huh. Found it. I found it. Gosh, I don't know what the heck to put it. Little, this holes fell off, so I'm gonna re-glue it back later in a minute. Okay, it's right there. All right, so guys, I think that's gonna be it for tonight. For this, I am gonna continue working on this weekend. And then that's pretty much it. Are there any questions? Does anybody have any questions? Feel free to ask me now. A lot of the wheels do got to be clean. I can see it here. And what's cool about these trucks do move out a lot, so I'll be able to get in there and really clean those trucks out, and the wheels for sure. That's definitely the thing I'm going to do. Actually, when I get off of here is clean. Probably finish this fuel tank and then clean the wheels. Thank you, Split Rock. I appreciate it. Thank you, Grandpa. Oh, it's Sawyer. Okay. Hey, man, I'm glad you're liking the way it's coming out. There's some stuff on here that I'm just being self-critic on that I'm going to clean up a little bit and change up here. But overall, it's pretty much what the effect I'm going to go for. Um, some of the photos I was looking at are really black. I just don't like it. I like the UP showing. We want to make it look like the locomotive is going through. It's on the road, and it's being used. But we don't make it like to the point where it's just completely black. Um, but let's see here. On a turbine like that, it's my first one, Ken. This is probably going to take me maybe like 5 hours, if not more. You can see on just this and a half of, and not even finished that one half of the other part of this locomotive. It already took me 2 hours, so it's probably going to take me about 5 hours to complete this. By the time it's said and done, by changing stuff around, maybe adding a little more. There's a lot of details that goes to this. There's some, like I said, there's some things I'm going to change on here that I don't like. And then may keep it later on. I don't know. I could just see it visually. So yeah, about 5 hours. The short answer, probably like 5 hours to complete this locomotive. No, so you're absolutely welcome, man, and I'm glad you get to see it firsthand. I believe in transparency. When it comes to doing this kind of stuff. That's why a lot of my clients, they want me to film, or at least not do a live clinic, at least film me working on their models. So, so they can see the techniques I'm using, and that I'm actually, doing the project and it's being worked on, along with the process it takes to work on it, for sure. Absolutely, you have, yeah, Adrian, you have to enjoy doing stuff like this. This is not something. It's just like right now, I'm really getting into building kits and stuff. So I'm really excited about learning that and painting. That's my next venture. That was something I was really scared to do. And after the NMRA clinic, I was NMRA clinics with Jack Ellis from Barn Mills, um, along with Boom and Diorama and oh my gosh, there's like two other people I can't think of right now. Well, even my buddy Sam Sizdek, if you check out that layout. I think tomorrow, guys, on my YouTube channel, on this channel here, tomorrow Sam Sizdek's layout video will be uploaded. Should be, I think, midnight or 6 a.m. I can't remember, but it is scheduled for tomorrow. So check out that video to see some really beautiful structure building and weathering. He does fantastic work. This is yeah, I won't be doing this if I didn't enjoy it. That's just the bottom line. I do enjoy it. And yes, just like everything, you could get burned out, and when that happens, you need to step away. I remember one time I had five projects going in a row, and right now I have six. I have six. I have Sawyer's. I have two locomotives that need to be painted and decaled. I have two motors that I just finished. Those three. I had a Great Northern set I still need to finish. It's been over a year now. Um, I need to finish that. I do have Johnny's SD90 back. That's that he said that's no rush for that, but that's another project. So it's one, two, three, four, and I have about three more on the way for the next month and a half. So I'm gonna have about 7, 8 projects total by the end of October. And by that time, again, this time of year, it's very busy for me because this is when a lot of folks start model railroading, right? Because it's towards the winter time, folks are going to be doing this again. So I have a deal where if you want something weathered, um, from September all the way to through January, you weather one locomotive. The second one is $10 off, and then if you have rolling stock, if I weather 5 pieces of rolling stock, the sixth one is only $10. Okay, so I won't give you the prices on here. If you want to contact me, and you can do it through the Facebook. I look at my emails for TOTB model weathering at Yahoo. Thing is, there's so much stuff that's going through the emails that sometimes I miss out. And I missed out on 2 projects about 2 years ago, and it breaks my heart that I never even saw the emails. It went into spam for some reason. So I don't like. I have the email address, but you can message me on the Facebook. You can message me on Instagram, even TikTok. Okay, so even on YouTube, you can message me as well if you would like a project done. Um, yeah, so, and that's that. Again, won't be doing this if I didn't enjoy the hobby. And sometimes you need to take a breather and do something what you enjoy and take a break so you come back to doing something like this. So tonight I may take a break from doing this, and maybe in the middle of the night, if I so choose, 2 in the morning to work on it again, I'll do it. So yeah. Yeah, Adrian. Yeah, the coder stuff. That's something I like to get into. I actually there's a couple of guys I do know who do encoder installments. Actually, Daniel Coombs from What's Neat This Week, he's really good at that. I'm giving him one of my locomotives. I'm going to try to take him on board with me to see if he would like to partnership with me. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see what he says. But there's a few guys out there that I know that need that kind of work done, and I'm not one to do it. I have no idea. So yeah, you're welcome, Ken. I appreciate it. And guys, anytime, any questions, just let me know. Um, so I'm gonna, like I said, take a break from this. May do something else here. Probably eat dinner. Haven't really eat dinner yet, and then maybe come back to it. So guys, take care, and thank you again for watching, supporting the channel, supporting the business, and hanging out with me tonight. My name is Joey. You guys have a great weekend, and God bless. We'll see you next time. I'm going to do another clinic on using gouache paints on rust effects. So that'll be the next one. So stay tuned for that.